The Packers schedule has just been released, and I will be predicting every single one of their games for the 2024 NFL season. Am I biased because I'm a Packers fan? 100%. Am I going to stand on business though? 100%. Let's get right into it. Week 1, the Packers play the Eagles in Brazil, and we have lots of home fans there, so it should double as a home game, even though we are technically the away team. I think the Packers get out to a fast start like last season, and people start to favor the Packers for a playoff run really early as we beat the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll then walk into Week 2 with our heads up high, but we'll overlook a severely underrated Colts team, which turns out to be a huge mistake as we fall to Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Matt LaFleur acts fast though and gets his players' heads straight as the Packers head into Week 3 against the Titans. The Packers then grind their way to victory, fueled by the embarrassment of the prior week. A week later, the Packers face off against the Vikings, led by young QB J.J. McCarthy, who has had a slow start to the season thus far. The secondary gets the job done by holding McCarthy down to a bare minimum, and the Packers enjoy a 3-1 start to the season. In Week 5, the Packers find themselves in the heat of California, where they have a rematch with the Rams from last season, and like last season, they hold steady throughout, moving to 4-1 on the season. Week 6 brings the Packers a low-key game against the Cardinals, where many fantasy gamblers are upset to find that Marvin Harrison Jr. only attains 8.4 fantasy points in another Packers victory. The Packers then head into their biggest game yet against the also 5-1 Houston Texans with high hopes. However, the Packers are brought back down to earth when C.J. Stroud delivers a monster performance, absolutely rolling over the secondary that has become known as one of the best in the NFL. The Packers seek to overcome this blow in Week 8, but Trevor Lawrence is balling out in his effort to prove that the Jaguars are a real contender. The Packers lose their second game straight, and fans begin to worry that we are repeating our losing streak from last season. However, the Packers have learned from their past experiences and decide to come out hard, beating the Lions in a close offensive shootout in Week 9, moving to 6-3 on the season. The Packers then get to enjoy a bye week, a much-needed week of rest, with the second half of the season still looming overhead. Week 11, Jordan Love and the Packers come back fully rested in a much-anticipated battle against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams has had a respectable first half of the season, and while the Bears do not look to be the best team, there's hope that they will snap the 10-game losing streak that they have against the Packers. And that does not happen. The Packers win by 10 points. The 49ers come to town the following week, and the Packers shock the world with their first unpredicted upset of the season, and now look to win the division. However, they are stopped in their tracks as Tyreek Hill lights up Jair Alexander and scores 2 touchdowns in the Dolphins' thrilling upset over the Packers in Week 13. In Week 14, the Lions are expected to fall to Green Bay once again, but the Packers, demoralized by the upset 1 week prior, are no match for the explosive Detroit offense. But at 8-5, the Packers are still sitting pretty well in the playoff picture and only need to win 1 or 2 more games to secure a spot. Knowing this, Jordan Love gets down to business in Week 15 against the Seahawks. However, it is also the effort by both Josh Jacobs and Marshawn Lloyd that leads the Packers to a crushing victory in a heavy rushing scheme against the Seahawks. Week 16 brings similar results as Green Bay takes on the lackluster Saints team and holds steady throughout. At 10-5, the Packers' playoff hopes begin to shine as they look for a division title. A challenge now lies in Minneapolis, however, where J.J. McCarthy has found a bit of rhythm. The Vikings lead for most of the game, but in spectacular fashion, Jordan Love comes back from a 12-point deficit in the fourth quarter, and a field goal by the previously Minnesota Viking Greg Joseph gives the Packers a 1-point lead to win the game. Week 18 versus Chicago becomes the final battle for the NFC North. The Bears make it interesting with an early pick six, sending Love into a slow progression throughout the game. The game remains tight to the very end, where Caleb Williams drives the length of the field and throws a completion to the end zone. A completion to the Packers? Y'all really thought I was going to predict the win streak ending? Packers haven't lost to the Bears since Leonardo DiCaprio painted the Mona Lisa. They haven't lost to the Bears since Abraham Lincoln said, "My head kinda hurts." J-Love owns the Bears. Get it in your head. And that leaves the Packers' record at 12-5 on the season. Looking at their schedule, 13-4 is the best I could really believe them doing. 7-10 would be the worst case I would predict. But let me know what you think. If you agreed or disagreed with my predictions, what you would have done differently, tell me down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe and check out more videos like this. Helps me out so much more than you think. And get ready for the Packers to beat the Bears this season.